Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are Two Paper Girls.
Today we're going to do the last top 5 Wednesday of January. I don't think we've done any yet this January because we've had a backlog of lots of other videos and we also haven't filmed for ages for us. Like for you there's only been a little bit of a break, but for us there's been a big break because we've been, well, I've been super stressed of course, like Amy was a lot more on top of it, but I've just been like awful. But we're back and we're going to do the top 5 underrated books.
Coming in at number 5 for me is Frontlines by Michael Grant, which is going to be an amazing, hopefully, trilogy about a bunch of girls who get conscripted into World War II, and it's just spot on. It's absolutely perfect. It's got every single balance right. It's scary, it's dramatic, it's deep, it's just so entertaining. The second one is out at the minute. I'm getting it tomorrow. I'm so excited. But I just don't hear people talking about it. I don't know why people don't love Michael Grant as much as me. Everything he writes, apart from
Berserk.
because
Buzzrook.
it's sci-fi. I'm not a big fan of sci-fi, but everything he writes, that's dystopia and like just, oh, it's just brilliant. I just love his writing style so much, and he's just such a lovely bloke. And Frontlines just doesn't have as much hype as it deserves.
My number 5 is Tigerlily by, I think, Jodie Lynn Anderson, but I'm not 100% sure. I read this book years ago. I remember reading it before an exam. Like, I had to be in isolation because I had an exam clash, and I just sat and read it, and it was amazing because I love Peter Pan, and it's kind of a Peter Pan retelling, but it does also feel like its own unique story, and it follows Tigerlily, and there's all this stuff about, like, she arranged marriage with this horrible guy, and there's it's just got so many levels to it. It's not just like, oh, I love Peter Pan. Like, I don't even think they go out. I think he's a bit horrible to her, but it's just a really, really good book. I can't remember it really well, but if you're a fan of Peter Pan at all, then you should definitely read it because it was really, really good.
My number 4 is a book called We All Looked Up by Tommy Wallach, which I haven't seen around at all, and I don't know why I picked it up, if I'm honest. It's got a nice cover, and it's about like the apocalypse. There's a big comet coming towards the earth, and it's about how people cope with that. But I just was really took back with this book. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I remember absolutely loving to read it, and every time I scroll down my Goodreads, I see it and I go, oh, that was a really, really good read. That I don't know anyone else that's read it, and I thought it was just really, really good. The characters are really well developed. It's in a 4-point multiple perspective, but every single perspective is good. I didn't want to skip anyone's viewpoint, and I really, really enjoyed it.
My number 4 is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas, and you're probably thinking, like, Sarah J Maas is super hyped, and she is, but no one really cares about The Assassin's Blade. Like, no one talks about it. Most people don't read it before they even read Throne of Glass. Some people never bother, and it's so good. Like, it's my, I mean, I haven't read A Court of Akatar and Akamath. I haven't delved into that series yet, but I actually prefer, like, if Assassin's Blade was considered part of the main series, then it's my favourite, because it was great. It had so many, like, it made the world feel really big, it was really well written, it had all the assassin action, and I absolutely loved it, and no one really cares about it. Like, people read it after Heir of Fire because they heard you kind of had to read it before Queen of Shadows, but it just stands on itself, like by itself, as just a really, really good collection of short stories and novellas, and they all work together. And it's really, really good, and everyone should read it if they're interested in Sarah J Maas but scared of the Throne of Glass hype, because it might convince you, because it's really good.
My number 3 is The High Mountains of Portugal by Jan Martel, who wrote Life of Pi, which is obviously a huge, huge book, and now it's a film as well. But this is one of his new books, and Laura got it me. And Jan Martel's writing is magical, and this is a book about a guy who goes on a journey to Portugal for some reason that I can't remember, but there's a lot of magical realism elements, and when I was reading it I was like, this is absolutely bizarre. But if you read into it, I guess you could class it as literary fiction. There's a lot of metaphor behind it, but it's Jan Martel, what do you expect? It was just a really, really well written book, and it was just a bit crazy, and definitely along the same lines as Life of Pi. So if you really like Life of Pi, there is more stuff out there.
My number 3 is Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson, which is a really, really good psychological thriller, and you get a lot of hype on BookTube about Gone Girl and a little bit about the girl on the train, but in my opinion, Before I Go to Sleep is far superior to both of those. Well, I haven't read Gone Girl, but I have seen the film, and I think the twist in this was a lot better, and I just don't know why it doesn't get as much hype. Like, it's a really, really good thriller. It's super fast paced. It's not really long, and it's just a really unique story. It even has a film, but it's quite old compared to. It was kind of before the Gone Girl hype, so people aren't really aware of the film or anything. But if you enjoyed either of those books or that kind of genre, then read Before I Go to Sleep, because I promise you, it's great. And Amy doesn't normally read that kind of genre, and even she loved it. So.
Coming in at number 2 is a book that we talk about quite often on our channel, and we always have said it's underrated, and that is Maggot Moon by Sally Gardner. We love Maggot Moon. It is so, so good. It's meant to be a children's book. Sally Gardner does write children's books now, even though she used to do adult novels, because she's written one of my favourite books of all time. But Maggot Moon is absolutely incredible. You think it's written for children, but then it's got like proper deep concepts in it. It's like very strange. You don't know if it's about the war, you don't know if it's about the moon landings, don't know if it's about bullying, about like psychological problems. It's so deep, and there's just so much to it, and I deserve to reread it actually, and so do you.
My number 2 is The Next Together by Lauren James. We've met Lauren James because she went to our uni, and she's written this amazing book that now has a sequel out too, which is called A Reincarnation Romance. It's about this couple who meet in various time periods and always fall in love, and they always have to like save the world together. And I just think if you tell that concept to anyone, they'll be like, that sounds cool, because it's like a mixture between like Jane Austen romance and Doctor Who and like action, and it's just great, and it's really well written, and there's just so many nice details in the book, like the font changes for each perspective and all that kind of thing. It's really, really good, and she's a lovely woman. I think she's definitely like an upcoming author, because she's had 2 books now. She's got another one coming out.
She's on her 5th.
Is she?
She's just started to write her 5th book. Like, she's a writing machine.
She is, and she's lovely. She's so nice, but this Next Together like duology just hasn't hit America, and I'm like, if all the big booktubers knew about this, they would rant about it, because it's much better than That Passengers by Alexandra Bracken, because the time travel's like straight away, and it's just really, really good. So if you like Doctor Who or romance or just any genre, you'll like it, because it's just such a good mixture, and it's really, really good, and it deserves a lot more hype.
My last one is actually by a really famous author called Marcus Zuzak, and that is I Am the Messenger. Everyone rants and raves about how much they love The Book Thief, but no one really talks about his other book, I Am the Messenger, which is absolutely incredible. It's a lot shorter, it's a lot more modern, it's just an amazing story. The plot literally captures you from the start to the end, and I couldn't get over how good this book was. I wasn't expecting it to be as good, but I definitely gave it 5 stars. And this book is just definitely one that I want to reread. Like, all of these books, I'm like, oh, I need to reread them, because I underappreciate them of how good they made me feel at the time. It's just such a good book. It's hard to describe. It's about a guy who is a taxi driver in New York. Then he gets a card through the post, and like a playing card, and then he has to like do missions of that the card tells him to do, and help people and save people. It was like a big mystery, and it's just such a good book.
My number 1 is Every Day by David Levithan, and everyone pretty much knows who David Levithan is. Everyone's read at least one of his books, and he's kind of collaborates with lots of other people as well. But I feel like he doesn't get that much love, and I think a lot of his books feel quite samey. They're all LGBT, which is like great representation, but I think they can all feel a little bit similar. And then Every Day is just like amazing. It's such a good book. It's about this character called A, who is like neither boy nor girl, because every day they wake up, they're in a different person's body, and they have to live a day as that person, and that is their life. So they don't know why this happens to them, they don't really know who they are, but then one day they fall in love with someone, and luckily, like, I think the next day they're in a body who is also like nearby her, so he kind of has all these experiences with this girl, and it's just really, really good. It's not even a romance, it's kind of just an exploration of like people's differences, so there's great representation and diversity in it, and it's just really well written and really, really good, and no one talks about it. I think some people mentioned it coming out, but I think it will make a lot of people's favourite lists if they picked it up, because it's really, really good.
So those were all our favourite top 5 underrated books that we all feel very strongly about. Like, when we were going through our Goodreads to pick these books, there definitely are ones that jump out at us that we don't talk about enough on this channel, and people that we don't hear talking about enough on BookTube, but we feel really strongly about, and the plot and the characters are still fresh in our mind even after all these years.
So we hope we've convinced you to pick up some of these books, and we'd love to hear some of your underrated reads recommendations down in the comments, and we will see you next time.
Bye!